What is good, YouTube, man? How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. It is Saturday, and usually we try to do a film study on the weekend, but guess what? We are preparing for week one. So I said, you know what? Let me do what I usually did before. Let me put this PowerPoint presentation ready for you guys so you guys can see a first look at what Patrick Graham is trying to build. So, very exciting. Hope you guys enjoy what we have put or what I have put together for you guys. But like I said, it is the first look. We're going to see multiple different formations or variations of kinds of things that we will do under Patrick Graham. But first things first, shout out to everybody who's already in the building. We got my guy Kenny pulled up, GA Patriot, Sean Donahue. Shout out to the members. If you would like to become a member, you can. The members link is down below now in the chat. We got my guy Anthony Estrada in the building, Kenny Mac Bambino, Dylan, Anthony in the building, Chris Gang, Derek Vehicle, Helicopter in the chat. I want to get a couple more people in here before we get started. Shout out to Raider Turn Up Speed. DeMarcus Webb is in the building. But who else? We got Raider Ray, Andy 100 chat. Much love. Shout out to Raider Ray in the building. Steve, and shout out to everybody. Once we're done with this, let's all go over to my guy Raiders Ray channel, man. He's gonna put on a fantastic show over there. Big Dog, we got B1, Big Ones, Anthony again. We got Steve in the building. He says, all I was popping. My guy Graham Cam pulled up. But you know what? We got over 65 people in the building right now. You know what? If you haven't hit that like button, hit that sub button. But let's get straight into this really quick. Shout out to Raider Knack, Anthony, my guy Anthony in the building, Steve. But you know what? Let's get straight to it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Let me switch to that. The film session is now begun. Let me take the chat off the screen so you guys can see everything. But as you can see right here on the screen, we got ourselves a classic nickel package. Nothing really has changed on this, in my opinion, right? You got yourself Trayvon Merrick here at the top. You got Deron Harmon here at the top. Not surprised there. I always had Anthony Averett and Rock Ya-Sin as my outside corners, even before the Trayvon Mullen trade. I do believe that in our nickel, Nate Hobbs will start on first and second downs on the inside. And then I think that once we get to third and fourth down, I think that you'll actually see these two guys with Nate Hobbs and Anthony Averett swap so that you can get the bigger corner on the outside when you're not really too worried about a run. Now, this is not really a surprise here. You have Divine Diablo and Jayon Brown. Now, of course, with Patrick Graham, we have seen him throw Jonathan Abram at this sub linebacker spot. So it is very interesting there. And I think that everybody thinks that this is our I don't think that anybody disagrees with this. This has to be our top four. You got Bilal Nichols, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones, and Jonathan Hankins. I do like what Neil Farrell decided to produce in that last game against the New England Patriots. I do still think that Jonathan Hankins, it is still his job. So let me know what you guys think about the classic nickel defense. This is something that we'll see a ton by Patrick Graham and his defense. Like I said, a lot of these guys are interchangeable, and surprisingly enough, you see Deron Harmon here and not Jonathan Abram. Well, that quickly does change because now we go into our big nickel, and that's where we saw Jonathan Abram have a phenomenal game against the Miami Dolphins when he was at the line of scrimmage or near the line of scrimmage in that front seven. He was absolutely balling. So here what you see is you're still in the nickel sub defense, or you're still in the nickel defense of 4-2-5, but instead of having Anthony Averett on the outside, what you then do is allow Jonathan Abram to play in the inside. He's a part of your front seven. That allows Nate Hobbs to move on the outside. We know that he is working on a lot of that versatility. So this is a big nickel. This is where Jonathan Abrams can blitz out of. This is where Jonathan Abram can match up on a running back, or he can spy. He can do so many different things under Patrick Graham here in this big nickel defense that I'm very excited moving forward. Of course, Rock Ya-Sin is still out there. Of course, Trayvon Merrick is still in the back end. Of course, Deron Harmon is still in the back end. There's no surprise there. but you still have Jayon Brown and Divine Diablo. In the nickel defense, it's very, very important with certain matchups that we get against Travis Kelce, right? We want a very, very good coverage guy here. Now, you still see Bilal Nichols, Jonathan Hankins, Chandler Jones, and Max Crosby. They're still all taking over there. So this is the big nickel. This is a sub to your classic nickel defense, right? So in your classic nickel, for everybody who's just coming in here, this is more of the classic, right? Your classic nickel defense has Anthony Aver on the outside and Hobbs on the inside, but instead now when you want a thumper in there, you have Abram here on the inside, and then you have Hobbs on the outside. So it allows a lot of different changes for Patrick Graham's defense, and I really, really like that. Now, going into this, we now go out of our sub defense. We go into our base 3-4. This is something that I think we'll see a ton, especially when we play the Tennessee Titans, especially when we play the Indianapolis Colts, right? These super, super heavy run teams. So in your base 3-4, you take Daron Harmon out. Jonathan Abrams slots back in as that strong safety guy, right? So you have strong safety. You have a thumper there. He is able to either come down into the box or whatever Patrick Graham decides to utilize him. But when you're in your 3-4 on a first and second down or on a situational football basis where you have to get a stop, right? And it is a running down, most likely, whether they only need 1 or 2 more yards. This is an extremely, extremely strong run defense right here. You have Jonathan Abram here at the top. You also have Trayvon Merrick. Then you have Rock Ya-Sin and Nate Hobbs with 2 thumpers here in the middle. Of course, we have our subs here. You have a bunch of different subs in these packages that you can go into, right? But you have your 2 thumpers in Denzel Perryman and Divine Diablo, making sure that they fill in those gaps, right? But you have Chandler Jones setting the edge. And then you have, actually, not surprising because of all the news that we figured out with Mr. Cleveland Ferrell, you have Cleveland Ferrell setting the edge on the other side at that weak side linebacker where he can take advantage of a tight end or advantage of a one-on-one matchup on the backside of the play. So that is very, very important for our run defense. And I think that we'll see this lineup quite a bit, and that's why I'm showing you. So you have Jonathan Hankins playing your one technique or your nose tackle. Then you actually have Max Crosby bump inside just slightly. You have Bilal Nichols here, and you have Cleveland Ferrell and Chandler Jones on the outside. This is an extremely, extremely strong run defense, you guys. I would expect very, very good numbers on rundowns if this is what Patrick Graham decided to put out there on the field. It doesn't really get much better than this. I don't see how you can necessarily improve this unless you say that, you take Neil Farrell and you put him at that 3-4 edge. I just don't see a better lineup possible. Now, if you really want to get into some pass coverage, but you don't really have time to rotate your entire personnel out and you can only take about 2-3 guys out, I think that this is a very, very, very successful. This lineup will be very successful against the pass, right? So you have your subs right here on the top. You have Darian Butler, Luke Masterson that can really, sub in and out. You also have Jonathan Abrams there that could sub in and out, to Sean Bowers, Cleveland Ferrell, Matthew Butler. Jonathan Hankins, as you can see, is not in, so he is a sub here. But we are talking about pass down. So this is a pass defense, right? So at the top, no surprise, you take Jonathan Abram out on a passing down. You have Trayvon Merrick here at the top. You have the closer, Daron Harmon, here at the top. And you still keep Rock Ya-Sin and Nate Hobbs on the outside. Now, in your pass defense, I would say that you put Denzel Perryman and Divine Diablo as your 2 interior linebackers or inside linebackers. And what you do is that you allow Jayon Brown to go and play that weak side linebacker, since he's not going to be asked to set the edge on 3rd and 13 and 3rd and 14 and 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 8. He can really just utilize the situational football, and he can say, okay, I'm just going to run with this tight end, or I'm just going to run with this running back, and really lock down. So as you can see, he has check to flats or running backs. Then you have these guys right here: Max Crosby, Neil Farrell, Mr. Bilal Nichols, and Chandler Jones. The reason why I put Neil Farrell here on a passing down, it's not because he is the greatest pass rusher that we have, but in fact, I think that he can push the pocket just a little bit further, or he can disrupt the center just a little bit more on a pass down. Instead of Jonathan Hankins. But this is a passing set. Of course, you have your subs here, like I said: Isaiah Pola-Mao, Roderick Teamer, Sam Webb, Amik Robertson, Malcolm Kuntz, Jonathan Hankins, Matthew Butler, Cleveland Farrell, Abrams, Tashawn Bowers, Luke Masterson, and Darian Butler. All these guys can interchange whichever order you really want them to be, but this is a very, very, very good passing or pass coverage grouping here. Now, something that's a little bit different, right? And this is really the only sub defense that I think that took a hit with the Trayvon Mullen trade. So as you can see here, you have Rock Ya-Sin, you have Nate Hobbs, you have Trayvon Merrick, and you have Anthony Averett all playing that quote unquote corner position. Now, I know that some people are going to say, hold on, why is Trayvon Merrick playing the corner? And really, it's not. He's playing the slot, so he's coming down, he's playing on the tight end, which is something that he was extremely, extremely good at TCU. Just, a guy like Gus Bradley did not give Trayvon Merrick that opportunity. So Trayvon Merrick coming down and playing in the slot with Nate Hobbs, and then you have Anthony Averett and Rock Ya-Sin as your two perimeter guys. You could even put Nate Hobbs at your perimeter, and you can put Anthony Averett on the inside. I think that these are your best three rushers. You have Max Crosby, you have Bilal Nichols, and Chandler Jones. My only worry here, I'm not worried about Duron Harmon, but my only thing that does slightly worry me in this defense, and this is because of the Trayvon Mullen trade, you have to put Jonathan Abram at that deep safety, because if you don't, you have to put Isaiah Pola-Mao back there, and I don't think he's ready for that task. Or you put Roderick Teamer back there, which I actually wouldn't be too mad, or actually, I would like Roderick Teamer in the backfield there, so that could actually be who goes back there. I wouldn't be mad at that at all, but it's just a thought, right? So instead of having Trayvon Mullen here where Merrick is, and having Merrick over the top where Abram is, things do have to change. But ultimately, I really, really like Merrick in this position because he produced a ton in college here at this position, going up against these tight ends and these slot receivers. This is a position where he was the guy that ended up winning the Jim Thorpe Award because he kept getting all these pass breakups and he was getting these interceptions because he was so much more closer to the action, right? Instead of just being over the top. So this is a dime pass coverage defense. You'll see us play against you'll see us play in this a lot when we go up against the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Rams, all these teams with a ton of really good outside and perimeter weapons. It'll be a moment where we'll have to put 6 DBs out on the field. Another thing you may see is that you may see one of these linebackers come off the field, Jonathan Abram play the linebacker spot, and you may see Roderick Teamer play over the top. So there's so many different things that Patrick Graham can do with this defense. I'm extremely excited to see what Patrick Graham can do and how he will utilize these guys. But yeah, that is the whole slideshow. Again, I'll give you a quick rundown on everything we did. You have the dime here. You have your pass defense out of a 3-4 with Jayon Brown going out and checking to the running back or the tight end or just going into the flats. This is your team against the in a 3-4 against the pass. Very, very confident in that. One of my favorite lineups. This is probably our strongest lineup. Something that I do believe we'll see on first and second downs a lot against Indianapolis and Tennessee. This is a heavy, heavy, heavy run defense, and this is very, very solid in my opinion. Then you have your big nickel here where Jonathan Abram had a phenomenal game against Miami where he can blitz, where he can have a lot of less responsibility, where he doesn't have to take over the entire back end, where he can actually just take over the flats or blitz, something like that, right? So my bad. That was funny. But yeah, so a lot less responsibility from Abram there. But like I was just saying, ultimately that's your big nickel. I think that he'll do great there. Then you have your classic nickel here. Not surprising. Very, very, very normal. This is a defense that you'll probably see us come out in a ton. Anthony Averett and Rock Ya-Sin as your perimeter corners. Nate Hobbs in the slot. Then you got your two linebackers here. Pretty simple, you guys, but this is the first look. I wanted to try and give you guys first look on what the Raiders defense may look like. Now that we got our 53-man roster, of course, the substitutes change a little bit, right? Now we have Darian Butler and Lucas Masterson in the mix for the linebacker spots. Before we had Kenny Young and Micah Kaiser. So it has changed a lot, right? Who knew that Isaiah Polamau was actually going to be able to be there at a rotational guy for that safety spot? So we'll see what happens, man. We'll definitely see what happens. And let me know tomorrow, would you guys like to see me put together a Sam Webb film study? I wasn't the highest on Sam Webb, but I know a lot of you guys were. So if you'd like to see me put together a film study for Sam Webb tomorrow, definitely let me know in these comment section down below. And for all of you guys that voted for the white Raiders hat, there you go. You got it. Let me know what other color hat you'd like me to wear tomorrow. We got every single hat. So once this video gets posted up, after the live turns off, let me know what you guys think with that. But Raider Nation, that'll be it for today. We are done. That was the first look at the Raiders defense. I think we'll see a lot of all-stars come out of this. I think we'll see a lot of Pro Bowlers come out of this. And let me know, where do you think Patrick Graham's defense will rank by the end of this year? I'm saying we have a top 12 defense. A little bit of a surprise, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as always, you guys, I love y'all. Stay safe. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'm out. Peace.
Welcome to the Death Star.